All right. Well, you are going to enjoy this episode of Praise Charts Live. I have a new friend, Michael Bethany. The funny story is, I had Michael Bethany on an episode with me about a year ago. And wouldn't you know, after the episode, we hung out just chatting online like this for another 10 or 15 minutes and struck up this little friendship. He sent me his text number. We started texting back and forth, and we're helping each other improve our studios. And he's got a podcast, and he's a worship leader, and I've got so many things that I relate to him. So now I have this new friend, Michael, and in our conversations, we were like, let's get together and do another thing because there's so many incredible things going on in Michael's life. In fact, I'm talking to you here in the beginning of February of 2025. In about 6 weeks, it's like an explosion of so much is going to be happening with Michael. He's recording a live album, putting on a conference, releasing a book, all of this stuff. We're going to talk to Michael right now. So let's bring Michael Bethany on to this show. Here we go. All right, Michael, I think we should just be honest. This is take 2 of this interview. We just did this and had microphone problems. But this is how we bond together, isn't it? It's like we're figuring stuff out together and we're making each other better people. So, thank you for that.
That's right.
You know, another
And thank
thing
you
I
for
think
teaching
about,
me.
that's right. This is another thing I think is you just record a full episode. We had an incredible time together, but it was what it was. I mean, I'm sure that there are elements that we will repeat together, but when you got to step back up to the plate again, you just got to trust that there's something new. There's something maybe we didn't talk about. I don't know what it is, but I'm good to discover with you, and I'm grateful for the fun friendship that we've been able to enjoy together.
Well, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think there's something special about how God brings people together.
Yeah.
And you live in Canada, I live in
Yep.
Texas.
So funny.
I would have never known, got a chance to connect with you, but we met over an interview, and you
Yeah.
have just become a great friend and have
Yeah.
helped me and my son and helped my technology game go
Yeah.
to the next level. I love it. It's incredible.
So fun. Funny thing was last time or a few times ago when we were chatting together, and then you put me on with your son, whose name is Isaiah. Funny thing is, my son's name is Isaiah, and I can't tell you how many times, Michael, that I have gone into panic mode and raced over to Isaiah's office. He's our head of development at Praise Charts. I race over to his office and I'm like, Isaiah, I need you to come and rescue me. The microphone's not working and I have an interview in 2 minutes. I need you to fix this. He's out behind the camera wrestling. He's like, Dad, this wire wasn't plugged in.
Oh.
But then, oh, now I'm just thinking the story is even funnier because literally 25 minutes ago, I got off the phone with my mom and tech support somewhere around the world trying to solve what I felt like was the simplest problem. And my mom is like, Ryan, just be patient with me. I'm just trying so hard, honey. And I just had to
Mm.
remember, oh, it's like my son helps me. I help my son. I help Michael. Michael helps me. This is how the world goes around. So, sorry,
That's
Mom.
right.
I know
That's
I
right.
lost my patience a little bit. She watches all these episodes, and she's probably laughing right now. So funny, hey. Hey,
That's
I'm
hilarious.
excited, Michael, about your music, your book, your conference. Let's talk about it all. Why don't we start with your music? I've got, of course, we've got everything Michael Bethany on Praise Charts. Your latest album, Overflow, which was incredible. We've already taken the one song, Ask Me Why. We've written out the piano vocal parts to it. Look at this is what we do at Praise Charts. We take
Whoa.
great songs and we map them out. These are the notes, the little black heads that pop up on the page, helping people to play it. So there you go. That is the piano vocal for that song. And but then there's a new song coming. Resurrection is coming. Tell me about this. Like, how did that song come about? I mean, here we are, a couple of weeks before Easter. People are looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So that song I released that song uh, in January. Just released it. Just came out. And that song I was writing with some friends who helped me write the first album. You know, a couple of songs on the first album,
yeah,
and we were talking about what we were going through while we were writing that song, "He Is Lord." And we were all revealing because at the time we weren't that close, and now it's been a couple of years and we're really close. And we start revealing everything we were going through. And then I just started talking about, man, but resurrection is coming. And I just said,
yeah,
resurrection is coming. I'm not here to stay. And I
yeah.
just said it just like that. I was like, wait a minute, it's time to write a song. This is
Okay.
a song. But we were talking about the resurrection power of Jesus, how it not only saves us, raises us from death to life, it also rescues us while we go through our daily challenges, and how no matter what you're facing, resurrection is going to come for that situation and you're going to come out of that thing. And so, though you may be in something right now, resurrection is on the way. You're not where you are to stay.
Yeah.
So that song happened just like that, and right in time for Easter. So I'm excited about that.
So exciting. And aren't you excited about this new season you have coming out of Gateway? Gateway was kind of like this great launching pad for you as you have it's like the jet has taken off from the runway and you're out, you're working with Capital, Worship Together, Rethink. Some incredible people are surrounding you and trying to sort of uh, ride the momentum that really seems to be in behind your musical life right now. It must be a very exciting season that way.
It is exciting. Capital has been an incredible partner. Rethink has been awesome. Jeff Gunkel and Kiki
Yeah,
Carter, and then of course Goody and Carrie over on, and Jess over on the publishing side, and Worship Together. It's been a wonderful thing to see how God has brought people alongside to help me do what God's called me to do. But we're all called to do some part of it, and that's just a lesson I think for anyone who God's given you something. You're not the whatever that part, whatever that calling or that vision is, there are more
yeah,
people connected to that than you think. You're
yeah,
not the only one called to affect the kingdom. And so finding partners that you
yeah,
can work together with to see that thing happen has been great. But Gateway was a great partner too.
yeah,
And still is a great friend. And they really helped to really come alongside and set up the stage and all the platform and all the things that had to be set up so that album could be released the way it
yeah,
was. And I just look back at that season. I think to myself, God, that was so perfectly done, but only you could have orchestrated that. Only you knew
yeah,
that me coming to Gateway was to bless the church and serve the local church, but also there was something else you had in mind that I don't think myself or Gateway had in mind, but it's
yeah,
worked together so incredibly well, and now we're here.
yeah. So beautiful. Well, I know that the title of this album project was Overflow, and then this conference that you're putting on, this new live recording, is also called Overflow. It's like it must be a theme running through your life. You must feel like your cup is just continually flowing and spilling out. So I'm excited about
Yes.
this, the Overflow experience. But take us back to where does this idea of overflow stem in your personal life, and then let's learn how it kind of comes out into the conference and the music and everything here.
Well, one day back in 2017, overflow took over my life. The idea of it all. I'm in prayer, and the Lord starts to speak to me about the word overflow. And it was very simple. Like, it's about prayer, it's about intimacy. And then I started to think, okay, it's a song, it's an album. But the more I began to sit with it, I realized, no, it's a movement, right? It's a culture, it's a
Yeah,
value system. And
yeah.
so I changed our nonprofit name to Overflow Culture Global, and
Mm-hmm.
everything's overflow. And the reason why is everything starts with intimacy with God. And out of intimacy overflows a wealth of vision and wisdom and resources and
Mm-hmm.
connections and everything you need. But it starts with a conversation with God. And so every
Mm.
day it starts actually in this very room right now. Back in those days, I used to meet God in my closet. It was really a
Mm-hmm.
prayer closet. But now I'm meeting in this room, but it defines every part of my life. So what people see is an overflow. What people don't see is that prayer closet intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
But there would be no overflow if
Hmm.
their prayer closet was not
Mm-hmm.
activated and engaged. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where it all comes from.
Beautiful. Well, let's talk about this overflow experience. It sounds like it's more than just a conference. It's a recording, a conference, a gathering of people who have poured into your life. You're going to gather this whole team together. This is more than just the Michael Bethany show. These are people who are like giants in your land. Tell us all about it.
So it's a live recording Friday night, March the 14th. We're going to kick off with some great friends. Isaiah Templeton is going to be there from Elevation. Marianne George, you've seen her with Maverick City. Alton
Yeah.
Eugene's going
Yeah.
to be there with me. They're writers and singers with Maverick and have done that for years. And then you got Dwan Hill, who is the, content creation and artist and
Oh, the
choir
choir
room and all
room
that.
is so incredible. It's amazing.
Listen, we're going to transport some of that choir room energy to Dallas from
I love
Nashville and
it.
have some
Yeah.
of my folks there. And then I'm going to have Chris Durso there from New York City Soho Bible Study, right from Manhattan, and we're just going to have and so many more folks. But that night is going to be an incredible live recording, brand new music. And then the very next day, we're going to keep it going with the Overflow Experience, because that's going to be a day where we really take every aspect of creativity and break it down and teach and impart, from songwriting to worship leading to even the aspects of mental health of the creative person. And
Hmm.
then we're going to move into content creation, like social media and what we're doing right now, and all the things that it takes, because there's so many aspects to creativity. You've got worship leaders, artists, songwriters, and then you have this thing called influencers, where people that God has given influence to, and through their creativity, it may not even be musically, God's reaching the world and making an impact for the kingdom. So we're going to talk about all these things. It's going to be an incredible second day event. So day one is free. Day two, there's a
Mm-hmm.
registration. And we're inviting everybody to be a part of it. I'm excited about that. I think something I want to just say on this, on while we're here, and this is just for you. You don't even know I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Day one is free. Day two, there's a registration of $25, right? If you register, right? But check this out. If anybody registers because they're watching this, they can use this code when they're registering for day two. It's OXP Live 2025. It's
Okay.
just an exclusive right now.
Okay.
I didn't
Let's
even
do
think
it.
about this until right
I
now.
love it.
OXP Live 2025, and you're going to get a discount on the day two. And if you get the premium ticket, you also get the book with that. And that means you get 10% off of registration for day two. So just an exclusive for my friend Ryan and his audience.
Oh, thank you. Now there's a book as well. I mean, I thought we had come to the end of this overflow and it just keeps going, but that's right. This thing called Life in the Wild. I heard you got a package from Amazon sitting on your desk, unopened. Don't open it, man. I wonder what's inside. I
Not
mean,
yet.
maybe it's a t-shirt or something like that. I mean, it could be a cookbook.
No, it's definitely a book. I think this is
Oh
it.
my
This is the
goodness.
book. Yeah.
Are
We're
you
going to record a
excited?
little moment. We're going to make a
Yeah.
whole moment out of it. I'm super excited. So that weekend, you're 100% right. It's not just a live recording. It's not just the Overflow Experience Conference, but it's also the launch of the Life in the Wild book. Now, here's a little secret. That Life in the Wild book is actually available online right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that weekend, I'm going to be making a very, very special launch weekend aspect about this book, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to make it available, and you can get that book. I'll autograph that book and share all the experience. It's been an incredible journey. My first book ever
Yeah.
completed, and it's done. I'm just blown away that this I'm an author now. That's crazy because I never saw
Yeah.
that in my future.
No, so awesome. And it goes with a podcast. Isn't your podcast called Life in the Wild? So you're just going to carry on the book and tell stories of people
Yes.
What,
Yes.
explain to me, what
Yes.
is life in the wild? Are you just trying to find people who are just out there blazing new trails? What is it?
Okay, so check this out. So, life in the wild is something that, again, in my prayer room, reading the Bible, I am reading about the life of John the Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to Luke chapter 1, verse 80. And it's just the story's over, all the story of how he came to be, how he was born, all those things with his father Zechariah and all those things. And the very last verse says, and he moved to the wilderness until his ministry started. Something went off in my brain, and I understood that decision that he made. We knew he was called to be a prophet. We knew he was going to change the world. But there was one decision that made all the difference. He was born in Jerusalem, but that's not where God was going to use him. God needed him to make a commitment to leave the comfort zone of Jerusalem, where his
Hmm.
parents were influential and they were priests, and go to a place where there was nothing but the presence of God,
Hmm.
and to commit his life to God without the help of convenience and collaboration where he could do anything. He could just be the next priest and just follow in his father's footsteps, but God has something for him. And that was a very courageous step for him to take.
Mm-hmm.
Every creative has to move from having a calling to activating that calling.
Yeah.
That is a commitment to God that says, I'm going to move into a place where you can grow me. Now, here's a beautiful thing about the word wilderness, right? The
Mm-hmm.
word wilderness just means it's a location where everything that grows, it grows without human interference or aid. So
Right.
there are no farmers.
Right.
There's
In the
nobody
wilderness.
planting stuff in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Everything that grows in the wilderness grows because God intended it.
Yeah.
And when it comes to your life, you have to get into a position where everything in your life is growing based on God's will and desire, and not things that we
Hmm.
manufacture out of our own passions and relationships and network. And that's a very reality. So I named it Life in the Wild because John the Baptist is our example for a person who had an incredible calling on his life, but had to make a very important decision
Mm-hmm.
to move into a wilderness. And the wilderness is not a bad place. It's the place
Mm-hmm.
where we get the Ten Commandments, we get all the worship, we get all the five books of the first five books of the Bible, because these folks went to the wilderness to have
Yeah.
intimacy with God and to learn what it meant to walk with God. And so that's what we're all living in
Wow.
real time. And that's what this is all about. Podcast, the book, and it's a huge part of my life.
Beautiful. I love it. Michael, I'm so glad to be your friend, man. I can't believe that we spun this out of a little podcast episode we did a year ago and then helping each other out.
Yeah.
You and me just prodding each other a little further down the road. Well, I'm excited for you and your conference, your book, your music. This Resurrection is Coming song, I think that's going to be incredible for churches to sing, even just coming up in the next 6 weeks. Encourage you to find all of that. We'll put links to the conference here, links to the book, and your music in the show notes here, and we'll be following you on the wild ride of a journey that Michael's on coming in the future.
Hey, can I tell you something? I just want to thank you in front of your audience for
Mm.
everything you do at Praise Charts. Long before we met, years and years ago, I would go overseas to Tokyo, and I would go to Praise Charts to get popular songs
Oh
because I
my,
needed chord charts.
yeah,
Because the musicians over there, they need those charts. They need the full chart. And so you were the place I could go to get that
really
those
crazy.
resources. And I would take that over to Tokyo and I would give
Yeah.
it to the guys, and we would do worship concerts. And because of what you did, so many people in Japan have come to Jesus from
Ah,
those
thank you.
events.
Yeah,
And you are a part of that. I want to thank you for
thank you.
what you do.
That's totally encouraging. Sometimes it's amazing to me. I mean, when you're on the internet, you're accessible to the whole world, and I certainly that's why we try to make a lot of music even free available for free on Praise Charts, just so that people in all corners of the earth, even if you don't have a credit card, you can come and get something. There's a lot of music that is available. So thank you for that, and well, we'll just keep pressing on, keep making more music. You keep
Yeah.
writing great songs. we'll keep writing great charts. How about that? And then every now and then we can get on a phone call and check out each other's studio, microphone settings, and all that kind of lighting, all that, and make sure
Yeah,
that we can keep improving.
absolutely.
So it's good stuff. All right. Well, this is Ryan Dahl, Michael Bethany. Check out the Overflow Conference, the album, the song, the book. Bring it on, Michael. There we go. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
See you, buddy.